There was a story of a man who fell into a cistern, a deep well, and somebody came to his rescue to pull him out. So the man tried calling on him, "Give me your hand, give me your hand." The man could not extend his hand to this rescuer to help him, pull him out. So the man trying to help was wondering, why is this man not complying? So until somebody who knew that man came around and saw what was going on. He said, "No, don't worry. I know how to get him to do that. Just say, 'Take my hand.' If you say 'give,' he will not. Just say, 'Take my hand.' So when you put your hand, tell him to take your hand, then he will immediately do that." This story means that some people will never give. They only like take. Life is about give and take. But some people prefer only to do what? To take. So like the man who refused to give his hand, even to help, for somebody to help him. He doesn't know the language of give. He only knew the meaning of take. And this is the message of today. We have three protagonists, three important personalities in the readings of today. The first reading about the widow of the city of Zarephath. Second reading about Jesus Christ who gave his life. Then the gospel of today about another widow who gave her livelihood. So for charity, or for one to make genuine offering, one must give all. One must give all. In the case of the widow of Zarephath, I wonder what, if we listened keenly to this reading, I wonder what was going on in our minds, Is this a fiction? Is this a true story? But of course, it's not a fiction. It's a real story that happened in life, happened in time and space. So this woman had only the last hope, the last meal for her son and also herself. And this prophet came with audacity. Can you imagine this man, the prophet, demanding this? Even when he heard this woman say that this is the last we had, and if after eating it we die. Anyway, of course, since she already said that after eating it, nothing again will come their way, they will just wait for death. So maybe the prophet said, after all, you will die. So even if you eat this, you don't have another one to eat. So give me, let me eat. Then you can die. Of course, that was not what Elijah meant. God used Elijah to teach us how to give all in order to receive all. To give with faith, and we receive what we never imagine we get. So Elijah fed, and of course the promise that Elijah gave this woman came to pass. In the gospel, we see Jesus Christ, who made a heroic sacrifice, who gave what he needed most. In fact, these three personalities, they all gave what they needed most. They all gave their Isaac. You know the story of Abraham and Isaac. They gave what they needed, in fact, what they valued. So Jesus, of course, valued his life, but he gave his life so that many more people will have life in God, because according to the reading, he made this sacrifice to pay for our sins, to reconcile us with his Father. In the gospel, we see the woman, another widow, who gave from her meager, the little, in fact, the last hope, her 2 coins. She gave it. She didn't say, oh, what will this be? What, this is just nothing. She didn't say, oh, since these people, many people have money, they have wealth, they are giving from their surplus, let me keep this one, let me hold tight this very last thing I had. She did not do it. She gave it, and we know till the end of this world, and even in the world to come, the heroic sacrifice of this woman will never be forgotten. Many hymns have been composed on the act of this widow that came to the synagogue and made this sacrifice. So now we ask ourselves, what does it really mean to give all? Does it mean that when we get our paycheck, we now write it off and give to the church or give to the poor, and leaving our families and leaving every other thing, and becoming beggars in order to survive? Actually, it doesn't mean that. Giving all, in this case, has 5 dimensions. The first dimension, what it means to give all, is to give sincerely. Give sincerely. Whatever you are giving, be sincere about it. If there is donation in the church, or collection, or giving to the poor in the streets, or our neighbor, whoever it is that you are giving, at the end, ask yourself, have I given with sincerity? What I gave, is it really what I should give? Or did I just, anyway, just take? You know, when you, in New York, when you are jumping out of the train, you see some people, you know, or even inside the train, you see people who are begging. And most of the time, we look for our coin, you know, to do that. And that's it. We look for the least and give. Is that the much we can give? That's the question. If that is not the much, in all sincerity, then there is a problem in our giving. Then second dimension has to do with giving wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. Not grudgingly. Not like we are being forced to give. Not that we are under compulsion. Are we giving wholeheartedly? That is, this thing is coming from our heart. No matter how much, no matter how big, no matter how small, is it really from our heart? Or we are giving because if we don't give, maybe we'll be looked at as we are misers or we are stingy people. For instance, you are in the church and you have 2 notes. a bigger and a smaller, maybe $50 and also $5. And maybe you separated them or you put them together, and mistakenly you wanted to give the lesser one and you brought the smaller one, the bigger one, the $50, and put it on the basket. Getting home, thinking that you gave $10, you notice that what you gave was the $50. What happens? Do you regret? Do you say, oh, what have I done? Of course, I've celebrated Mass where somebody came to collect. Of course, it's okay, because maybe that's the last the person had. Came and said she made a mistake, and she wanted to, take. Willingly, we gave. So, in other words, what I'm saying is that whatever we are giving, let it be, from our heart. And if by mistake we did this, we give the bigger note, maybe God has a reason why you made that mistake. Maybe it's called a holy mistake. Accept it in good faith and make it a sacrifice. Use it as a prayer. Say, God, this must not be a mistake. Thank you for helping me to do what I didn't even want to do that is good. Probably you'll be surprised what you will get. But if you regret, the blessings that would have followed it probably would not be there. So the third dimension is giving generously. Or it's almost the same thing with giving wholeheartedly. We give out of our will, out of our own desire. We don't give because we just want to please anybody. Then again, thinking more of others. The fourth dimension is thinking more of others than ourselves. And the last one is giving not for show or publicity. This one is not common here. It's common from my own, where I came from, When people want to do something, even to give to the orphanage, or what we call a motherless babies home, they would like the media to carry it. That so and so went to the orphanage to donate this and that. So such attitude is not the best. A generous giver would not give just so that people will clap for him or her, but give because God, who sees in secret, will see your generosity and repay you. So when we look at the three people we had in the readings of today, we see that all these five dimensions are there, all of them. Is it the widow of Zarephath? Thinking about Elijah, even at the expense of herself and her son, gave all, not by force, because she had the privilege to say, no, I can't give you this food, let my son eat first. So, we look at them, they're all motivated. They were all motivated by these 5 dimensions of generous giving. May God help us today that to understand that giving is better than receiving. And of course we know we do that, but we can also do more. May He give us more in order to give more. May we never go in lack. May we never lack because we give. And God is a God of giver. May He help us in our pursuit of becoming generous and charitable people.